Congratulations! A small mistake with the forms long after the empire died just made you the owner of the Colosseum. The 2,000-year-old stone arena sits in the middle of Rome. Today it is part of one big park of old ruins with a single ticket. That just means one ticket covers the Colosseum, the Roman Forum, and the Palatine Hill. The whole thing is run by the Italian state, and now, somehow, it is yours. But owning it is nothing like the pretty tourist photo. Last year, this old ruin made over 100 million euros just from tickets. And as recently as 2011, Rome could only spare about €500,000 a year to keep it standing. So here is what that means for you. The money is so good that everyone is already fighting over a piece of it, from computer programs to street corners, and you just arrived last. Before we go any further, you should know who is already waiting at your gate. There is a shoe billionaire who quietly paid to get his name onto the repair signs. There are computer programs that buy up your tickets in seconds and sell them again for triple. There is an ID check system, like at a passport gate, guarding a 2,000-year-old building. And outside the front door, there are armed men in rented armor, the protective metal clothing, fighting over 20 euro photos. But before you spend a single euro, let's look at what the people who actually run your arena are doing today. Start with the real size of what is yours, because the first surprise is the number at the entrance gate. In 2024, nearly 14.8 million people passed through this one old ruin. Ticket income, just over 100 million euros, roughly a quarter more than the year before. That makes it the #1 moneymaker among all Italy's state museums and ancient sites. The important comparison is this. This one ruin makes more ticket money than the Uffizi, the famous art gallery in Florence. It also beats Pompeii, the ancient Roman city buried by a volcano. Those two put together still make less than this one building. Let that land. One old ruin outearns two famous sites combined. All of Italy's state museums together bring in about 60 million visitors and around 380 million euros in tickets. This one building is roughly a quarter of that. Some reports even put the city-wide yearly value at around 1.5 billion euros when you count everything around it. Remember, this whole messy situation is yours now. The reason it matters, every layer of this building is already someone else's money trick, and soon you will have to deal with the visitors too. Your gate is the single most fought over ticket in Italy, and everyone from computer programs to billionaires has already started before you. Now, the uncomfortable first page. Because this building has always depended on other people's money, and that started before it was built. Construction started under Emperor Vespasian in 72 AD and finished 8 years later under his son Titus. And historians argue the money may have come from treasure taken from a beaten enemy. One historian put back together the lost opening message. It is a stone with letters cut into it that names who paid for it. He did it by following the small holes where bronze letters once hung. His reading says the arena was funded from goods taken in war. Another historian says it likely means stolen goods from the Great Jewish Revolt, a Jewish uprising against Roman rule. In that war, Titus's forces destroyed the Jerusalem temple. But those stones are from a later rebuild, not proof of how the original was paid. But one ancient writer did record a strong number: over 9,000 wild animals killed at the opening games alone. The pattern starts on day 1. 2,000 years later, the same problem showed up in a modern money office. And this time, it was a shoe company paying. Before 2011, the Italian state spent only about €500,000 a year keeping the Colosseum standing. Reports at the time said that was 1/10 of what was actually needed. Then, on January 21st, 2011, Diego Della Valle, the CEO of Tod's, promised €25 million for the repair work. Tod's is the expensive Italian shoe and leather brand. Rome's mayor called it the end of a nightmare. But here is the condition. Della Valle's own words. "I won't put Tod's shoes on the Colosseum. No giant logos. Just small signs at the base, and the company kept the right to film the repair work for its own publicity." The work finally finished in July 2016, about 5 years after the promise. The money cleaned the outside walls, replaced ground-level metal fences, and later opened the top levels for visits. So the monument survived on marketing money. Fine. But surely today's ticket booth is where the machine earns enough to cover its costs. Before you plan your money around that, look at what a ticket actually is. There is not one Colosseum ticket. There are several levels of tickets. The standard ticket covering the Colosseum, Roman Forum, and Palatine, good for 24 hours, is €18 today. The fuller experience with the underground and the arena floor, the flat central area where fighters once stood, is €24 or 32 with a guide. And the resellers? These are people who buy tickets and sell them again. They list arena floor starting at 33 and up to €50. For the same entry, the official site sells at 24. The official site does not sell a ticket. It sells a fixed entry time window, like a flight. The old building can only hold so many people safely at once. So each day is split into time slots, and only a small group of cheap tickets ever opens. That limit is the first reason the base price disappears. The €18 ticket is real, but the price you actually pay is whatever the resellers say. So the added price is clear, but that still does not explain why you can never even see the 18 euro one. Here is the part the tour guide skips. In July 2023, Italy's competition authority, the government body that makes sure companies compete fairly, opened a formal investigation. What they found? Bots, software that buys tickets faster than any human can, were grabbing base price tickets in under a second. Standard tickets were almost always gone before an ordinary buyer could click. The same tickets then showed up again, tied with paid tours. They sold again at an average of 30 euros and up to 50, double to triple the price. The fine, announced in April 2025, was 20 million euros. Co-op Culture, a company owned by its workers that managed Colosseum ticketing since 1997, was fined 7 million of that. They had been holding back large groups of tickets for their own tour packages and failing to stop the bot buying. 6 tour operators split the rest. Names like Tickets and Get Your Guide. The authorities' own words. The practices made it essentially impossible to buy a standard price ticket online. And get this! The fine came the same day King Charles III and Queen Camilla were making a state visit to the Colosseum. A row of computers clicked. Bots took the cheap tickets before anyone's finger touched the screen. Downstairs, a king and queen stood for photos while the fine came in. The state's own ticket company was holding back groups, and bots made the cheap ticket disappear. Then they sold it back to you at triple. To kill that way of selling again, the Colosseum did not raise prices or hire more guards. It turned your ticket into a boarding pass. Today, every visitor must give their full name and an ID document number at booking. On arrival, the ID has to match the name on the ticket or no entry. A tougher version started on May 9th, 2026. The name can be changed only once and only up to 7 days before the visit. After that, it is locked. The gates rule plain and hard. If the name does not match your government photo ID, the decision to refuse you is final. You will not get your money back. There is no appeal, no way to argue. Resellers used to buy under fake names and put in the customer's name at the last minute. The 7-day lock kills that. So a 2,000-year-old ruin now checks passports at the gate like an airport. The bots did not just take money, they changed what visiting this place feels like. But once you are through that passport check, another small money machine starts running. The official visitor route ends at the site's own shop, where the state sells guidebooks, small models, and a paid audio guide. The 18 euro ticket is just the small entry fee for a shop hidden inside the visit. So the gate is now a fort with ID checks, but the other money in this building does not come through the gate at all. It comes through the floor. In August 2015, Italy's culture minister announced 18.5 million euros to rebuild the missing arena floor. Completion expected early 2016. That plan did not happen. The floor actually built came years later, between 2021 and 2023, at a reported cost of $22.2 million. It is made of wooden strips that can slide open. Visitors can look straight down into the tunnels and rooms under the arena. That is where fighters and animals once waited. The new floor's biggest public moment came from Airbnb's Icons program. It offered free combat training on the new floor, timed to the release of the movie Gladiator 2, 2 3-hour night sessions in May 2025. 16 guests each, armor from that time, a view into the underground. The experience was free. Guests just paid their own travel costs. Airbnb's co-founder called it taking you inside worlds that only existed in your imagination. Same quiet branding trick Todd's used in 2011, just on the new floor, and this time with armor. The repair work itself became the advertisement. So the tickets, the bots, the ID checks, the shoe billionaire, the movie publicity event, all of that goes through official gates and desks. But the last layer does not go through any ticket booth. It happens on the sidewalk. Outside the Colosseum, men dressed as ancient fighters and Roman soldiers offer photos, then demand cash. Rome made paid costume photos illegal in 2017, with fines around $450. In late 2023, a reporter saw the fighters working all over the area anyway. In November 2022, 3 men dressed as fighters were arrested for forcing tourists to pay through threats and violence. One group was cheated out of about 500 euros. The pattern was the same: forced tourists to pay. A tourist who refused a 40 euro demand had 150 taken after threats. An Irish tourist, according to reports, was forced to take cash out of an ATM twice. Then in January 2024, the organized crime operation became clearer. Undercover police, officers dressed as ordinary people to watch without being noticed, pretended to be street cleaners and rival fighters. Reporting describes the business as run by 7 families with criminal pasts, fighting to control every stretch of sidewalk. They threatened and followed tourists, attacked competitors, and burned rivals' cars and small motorcycles over territory. One fighter went up to the undercover officers and said, "This is my area, you cannot stay here, you are stealing my jobs." Police had arrested 20 people the week before, the usual photo price 20 euros. And here is the whole shape of your machine, 2,000 years apart, built with treasure taken from a beaten enemy. Saved by shoe marketing, sold again by bots, guarded by passport checks. A new floor turned into a movie ad. And on the sidewalk, the last layer takes 20 euros at a time, sometimes with fire. Every layer has the same shape. Whoever controls who gets in controls the money. So that is the machine. The one question left before the final conclusions: what could actually kill this thing? The answer is strange. Two opposite things are true. The same thing that makes the Colosseum valuable is its crowd, its fame, its tight entry. That same thing also makes it fragile at the edges. The more you lock the system, the more people will pay for a way around. Shut down the bots and the resellers shift to the sidewalk. Ban the men in armor and they burn a rival's small motorcycle. The harder the official system closes, the more valuable a way around becomes. So that is your Colosseum, the same machine from stolen goods to sidewalk. Every layer turns entry into money. The more you close it, the more valuable a way around becomes. So before you step inside what is now yours, make sure the name on your ticket matches your passport.